Greetings from the Garden of Eden. The fall season, the end of summer, is here basically, and a lot of our crops that are not perennials, that don't last all winter long, are beginning to die, to sort of reach the end of their annual cycle, their yearly cycle. So, it's kind of a bittersweet thing. It's a sweet thing because, the circle of life continues. The contrast, the balance, it's a beautiful thing, the seasons. But it's also a bitter thing as well, because a lot of the crops that we are harvesting every single day, all spring, all summer, beginning of fall, disappears for the winter time, and we don't have it anymore. So anything we haven't preserved in some way, harvested, saved, and preserved in some way, is gone until next year. So I just wanted to do a little, bounties of the land update for the season that we're coming into now. And I actually covered this plant here, which is shiso, a few weeks ago in the prime of the summertime, and this whole plant was all just like lush purple, lush deep purples, vibrant. And now, as you can see, it's like basically just brown and green. Right, so it's a big change. Also, we've got all these seeds that have popped up, and nature is just brilliant and perfect in my mind, even with death and the cycles of death and birth. But the plant knows exactly that it's coming to the end of its annual cycle, and so with the last bit of its energy, it is putting forth seeds, these little seed pods here. And by the time the freeze comes, by the time the winter time comes, which is, a month or less from now, the seeds will be matured, and they will fall to the ground. They'll blow in the wind, and when the spring comes next year, nature knows the exact perfect time. The seeds sprout, and because we've set up a wild, crafted, beyond organic environment, it's super beautiful for us, because we don't have to do anything except for respect and facilitate and nurture the natural environment of this plant, and it just takes care of the rest. So we don't even need to preserve the seeds and replant them and re-prepare the ground in order for this to happen. It'll do it itself. But because I'm into preparation, because I'm into many levels of sustainability and abundance, we do harvest a lot of these seeds, and we will either save them for some sort of a backup. Seeds are one of the best prep items, one of the best backup resources you can possibly have. They become priceless, they become invaluable, depending on the circumstance, some sort of end of times type thing. It becomes one of the most valuable things, but also potentially for barter, trade, or sale. These seeds can be extremely valuable for that. Also as gifts, we love to give out gifts of seeds, and we do that regularly as well. So there's all sorts of valuables that these seeds can have. But like I said, any bed of shiso that we don't harvest in the next 15 to 30 days is going to be frozen, it's going to be gone. And that applies to most of our summer crops. Actually, most of our summer crops die in the fall and the winter, and we don't have them again till spring. So we've got to potentially harvest and store seeds. We've also got to potentially harvest and preserve the herbs, the fruits, the vegetables, the plants, the medicines itself, so that we have enough for winter and the beginning of spring, because it takes time in spring for them to mature enough to harvest anyways. So I just wanted to sort of use this shiso as an example of the change of seasons and of time. Also the brilliance of nature itself. It's just truly awesome. And when you understand it and you connect it and you work with it properly, yes, things die, but you can still activate a super abundant and a super sustainable environment. And that's what we're trying to do, more so even every day here in the Garden of Eden. I hope that this episode of Bounties of the Land was enjoyable and valuable to you. I truly love nature. I truly love the land. The balance, the cycles, it's all part of it. Grateful to be sharing that with you. As always, I welcome your feedback. I appreciate your support, and steam on.